Receiving simulator transmission. Uploading transmitted feed. Initializing playback sequence. Alright Seipher, we're ready.
Hey everyone, Seipher here and welcome back to Seipher Plays Kingdom Hearts. In the last episode, we chased the magic carpet into the desert to see where it was going. It ended up giving us a ride across the desert, taking us to Aladdin and his monkey Abu, who are being dragged into the sand dunes by the Heartless. We managed to buy Aladdin time to use the Genie's lamp to get out of the predicament, and then informed him of how Princess Jasmine and Agrabah were in trouble due to Jafar's schemes. We teamed up and fought our way to the palace gates to save Jasmine from the wicked sorcerer, but with aid of his Heartless and his pet bird Iago, he not only managed to spirit Jasmine away, he also seized Genie's lamp, becoming his new master. This time, we're heading back into the desert to chase down the snake of a vizier. However, before we do, I do have a few things to go over. Off-screen, I did a little bit of grinding just because I saw that Donald was close to leveling up and figured we might as well. He gained some HP, and I also decided to take the chance to swap around some accessories. We got the Ray of Light last episode from defeating the Pot Centipede. It increases max HP and MP and also enhances magic and summon power. I figured it would be a good idea to equip to Sora in place of the Inferno Band just because I don't really need fire resistance as much. His defense is pretty high enough on its own, and just having more HP to be able to take hits and rely on second chance will certainly be at least a bit better. Granted, there are a lot of fire enemies, so keeping a fire resistance on him would have been nice, but I figured this will work out better since having more magic will mean that we can use gravity and cure more times. I also traded out one of Donald's fire rings for the Inferno Band because it's basically the same thing, just with added dark resistance. So figure it might be of some use. I would also like to say that the peddler that was in Aladdin's house at the start of the last episode that disappeared after we returned to Aladdin's house with Aladdin himself is now back in Aladdin's house. Should you want to buy anything from him, I would recommend it if you need to. In any case, let's head out of the storage room and out into the desert. Just gonna ignore the Heartless. Nothing here. Guess we can just run. The tiger is being controlled by the Heartless. Crush the power of darkness. Yep, I just had to open my big mouth. We have another boss fight on our hands. Say hello to the tiger-shaped guardian of this world's greatest treasures, the Cave of Wonders. He is a pretty difficult boss fight, and I would not recommend using any summons to fight him. He mainly attacks using eye lasers, although he will also breathe out Heartless. You generally want to just climb up on his nose and smack him in the eyes, ignoring the Heartless. You can technically get up on his back, and he will also take in sand when he's digging his head in the sand so that he can spit it out as a red-hot attack that I believe does fire damage. So, just be careful. Each eye has about half of his HP, so once the darkness is gone from the eye that you've been focusing on, focus your attacks on the other eye. I would say make sure you have Arrow and Cure equipped for this fight to your customize menu, just because it'll make it a bit easier. If you had no trouble with the pot centipede, this should be fine. And no scene of the cave regaining its normal state. It is now open to us as an area, so let's head on in. However, before we do, I would just like to say that this next area can be very tricky platform-wise. I'm going to do my best to try and go through it without falling down, because a lot of the stuff in the upper areas can be reached right now, but if we fall down to the lower areas, we'll have to climb our way back up, and it'll just be a bit of a struggle. In any case, we will do the lower areas, but I intend to save them for last. In any case, if you do fall, there will be nearby stairs in here. Well, if you fall off in this area, there will be nearby stairs that you can use to reach this entrance again. So, let's take out these guys. You'll want to focus on taking out enemies before actually doing any platforming here, because they can be a bit of a pain in the butt. And be careful, because, like any good temple full of treasure, this place has a lot of booby traps that can easily hurt you. In any case, let's collect the chest from the platform here. Where is that platform? Ah. There it is. And just when I thought... Thankfully, the Jungle King's long reach allows us to sort of bypass these guys a little bit. And thank you, Donald. I don't think that was entirely necessary. Okay, let's take these guys out. Yeah, I'm a little worried about just attacking any air enemies willy-nilly, because I don't want to accidentally combo myself off into a pit. In any case, we'll open this chest to get a Mega Ether, and then we'll head through the door to the hall. We'll want to be very careful with the enemies we face here. And hopefully not so many will show up. Come on. Thank you, gravity, making those guys a walk in the park. Okay. There should be a barrel around here. To the left. I know, we want to reach some water spouts. I think that there's going to be a ball that comes... Yep, didn't want to get hit by that. Okay, I need to just remember to take these guys out, to focus on clearing out the room before trying to do any platforming. Use that to get a little extra height and open this chest. Getting an elixir, that'll be very helpful later on. We're gonna skip the stairway entirely, and we're going to look for a ledge on the side of the platform at the middle of the room. Well, oop, did not mean to do that. Okay, we'll fight our way back, I guess. These water spouts will push you off if you're not careful, so take your time, don't try and rush it. Come on. Alright, so on the side of the platform at the middle of the room. Okay, open this chest, getting a mithril shard, and I think now that we can return to the beginning of the chamber and look for a set of stairs that are seemingly unreachable. Okay, don't rush it, Seipher. Okay, good. Yeah, I think it's those over there. So... oh, a water spout attached to a pillar in a pit. That's... hold on. Pillar in the pit. Well, we're gonna have to deal with these guys. Come on. Thank you, Blitz, for at least making this a bit easier. Oh, that's the pillar they're talking about. Okay, so I have to go back the way we came. Alright, so for this, we have to use that water spout to reach the stairs. So this is going to be a little tricky. Okay, thankfully we made it. So we get to the bottomless hall, which does have a chest for us. And a stone slab to push down. Well, want to make use of that later. Anyway, after that, we want to return to the hall. Okay. I think we're gonna have to risk another jump to this. Good. Good. Alright, so now that we're back here, we have to find another door to the bottomless hall, which, if I had to be a betting man, okay, let's actually make use of our first person. So that doorway took us to the bottomless hall. I'm gonna guess one of the other doors here will also lead us to the bottomless hall. This it? Yep. Okay, so now there's a chest with a pillar directly to our right. That is a tricky but doable jump. Oh boy. Well, hopefully I manage it. And I would have if I didn't attack. I'll meet you guys back up at the bottomless hall. Okay. Another elixir. Not sure if that was necessarily worth how many times I fell down and had to cut out, but whatever. Jump back to the main platform. Thankfully, Donald didn't push us off into the depths below by actually... I don't know what he did, but going to have to use the water spouts here to reach a higher platform. For another chest. Hopefully these guys all just stop. Okay. Okay. Oh, no. Open this chest. Getting us a cottage. Alright, and now we need to fight the remaining enemies in this room and take the door to the treasure room. Okay, come on. I might just be set with blaze gems by the time that I'm through with this world. Okay, treasure room, here we come. We will have to take out these guys before we can actually explore a little. Okay, Sora gained max HP, that's good. That's one of the things I kind of like about the original Kingdom Hearts, is that your HP and MP growths weren't just at set points. It made playing the game a little more interesting. Okay, that was a little bit too much slowdown for my liking. Okay, get out of here, fat bandit. You are... It's usually the big guys like him that are going to cause issues, which makes me a little worried for later on when I'm actually taking care of bigger enemies, but that's for another time. In any case, we want to activate the red trinity nearby. Here we are. Getting a ton of money and a mithril shard. I will also say that this room can spawn white mushrooms, and they will have a new pantomime for the gravity spell that we got back in the fill cup, so you'll want to maybe hunt here, at least enough to get the gravity arts. In any case, now that we've taken care of that red trinity, we're gonna jump around. We're gonna turn around and jump onto the next pile of gold for a treasure chest. Getting a defense up, that'll be very helpful for the defense I had lost on Sora. Mithril shard. We got probably a few too many of these at this point. I think I've long since reached the number that we need for synthesis. Another Shelgi that I can't make use of, but good to know. And let's see. I'd say that we're done here, so let's return to the hall. We'll take this down to the silent chamber. And there should be a blue trinity right here. Doing so gets us a Thunder G, and it is the last trinity that we'll be able to make for right now, so it is now safe to switch Aladdin into the party. Let's head back up the stairs to the hall and continue to left to a set of wooden stairs near the door to the entrance. At least I think this is it. This will take us to the dark chamber. This room thankfully has a save point where we can easily swap in Aladdin, and because Goofy got to be with Tarzan last time, I say let's swap Aladdin in for the main exploration going forward, since we will actually need his help to be able to make it through here. And I want to sort of just balance things out. I will probably save here and do a bit of grinding off screen in the treasure room for white mushrooms just to get gravity arts and maybe some of the gems that using gravity can get you. I don't recall off the top of my head. I'll probably explain it next episode. But anyway, yeah, that's about all the exploring that we can do in the Cave of Wonders for right now. We'll do a bit more in the next episode. We'll finish up exploring and finally catch up to Jafar, hopefully before he finds Agrabah's keyhole. I want to thank you all for watching. Until next time, stay gold.
Playback sequence terminated. Transmission disconnected.